Shana.
Nice to see you here again.
Nice to see you.
You've been awesome.
Always
helping me.
nice to see you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about sex. Well, all right.
All right.
Oh, should we start over?
No, let's just go.
Okay, so anyway, what we're going to talk about is no laughing matter because it's painful. So I've been getting emails from women who, and I've heard this in I don't know how many conversations. Shana, I'm really wrestling because I don't believe in sex before marriage, but the guys that I am going out with do. They're pressuring me or they're dropping me as soon as I bring this up. You know, guys who even claim to have the same spiritual values as I do. And I'm just really discouraged by this. So one of the questions they're asking, I'd like to know what you think about this. One of the questions they're asking is, at what point do I bring this up in the conversation of dating? And how do I bring it up? What do you think?
Well,
I'll tell you what I think.
Yeah, go please. I mean, I got opinions on some other things, but the timing, I don't know.
Okay, good. Okay, so my thought is that you want to bring it up within the context of conversation and questions. So instead of just saying to a guy, when you very first go out with him on your first date, I don't believe in sex before marriage, you can, as you get to know him, maybe you go out with him, you know, and then maybe you go out with him again, you ask him, you know, how do you feel about living together? What kind of roles do you see in your family as far as between a man and a woman? As you hear him talk, you're going to get the answers that you need. You're not going to have to say, You have to ask the question. Well, but you might not have to. He might reveal himself without you having.
That's true. But most guys are horrible at taking hints. So if you're trying to hint at it,
oh no, this isn't hinting. This is discovery. Right. This is doing an archaeological dig.
Okay.
So I just think you can ask the question. Now, this is just my opinion. I always tell people I'm not God and I didn't write, you know, you're not going to find a manual out there about this, but I just think you can use some wisdom in asking some questions. And I think as you listen to him talk, I think that you'll find out what you want to know. And if you don't, as you get to know him, you can, you know, be a little bit more straightforward. But at some point, the question does have to be answered. The last woman that I connected with who talked to me about this had said it's really hard because, you know, how does she deal with the issue of, and I know you'll have some things to say about this, how does she deal with the issue of, well, I want someone who has more sexual experience? So I'll tell you what I think about that, but what's your opinion?
Look, I get it in this day and age. For some reason, the stigma is gone or there's an expectation that people are going to do that. I guess I'm old-fashioned. I just don't think the biblical standard changes over time. You know, if it was wrong when you're 18 and it's wrong when you're 22, it's probably wrong when you're 42 and 52 and 62, I think. And I think if a guy is pressuring, says he loves you, but yet still wants to sleep with you and expect you to lower your standard to meet him, it's hard to say, but ladies, that guy doesn't love you. He's living for himself. He wants to do that for his own personal gratification. He's not doing that to honor you. In fact, he wants you to sacrifice what you believe in so that his own personal needs can be fulfilled. And as painful as it is, I would tell you to run away from that guy, honestly.
Yeah. And someone said to me, you know, how do I keep from sounding like a prude? And I was like, the guy who gets it, you're not going to have to defend yourself or your standards. You're not going to have to, he's going to understand what that means to you, and he's going to agree with that standard.
And so, if a guy says, well, I want someone with experience, come on. That's a manipulative ploy. The guy has no experience with you, you know, and so he still has no experience.
Yeah, because it's different.
Yeah.
So I just think too, as a woman says no to the guys who don't agree with her in this area, she's like separating out the wheat from the chaff. It's like, okay, well then bye-bye. You know, you're not for me because I'm not going to do what I believe is wrong, because then what's going to happen is you'll get further down the road and you'll regret it. And you'll regret that you allowed yourself to be manipulated or moved that way. And the respect won't be there. I mean, I can't say enough about Clark and how, before we got married, we traveled a lot together. I mean, we went to all different kinds of states together, went to different places together. And I didn't bring this up, and you were able to do this, but you paid for a hotel room, an extra hotel room for me, everywhere that we went. And that said a lot to me about how much you honored me and about your intention toward me. And that just brought me a lot of comfort, because I knew that you were a quality guy and that I could trust you. And when I did bring that up in relationship with you and said, no sex before marriage, his response was awesome. He said, well, that just makes me love you even more. So I know that in this day and age, it's difficult, because I got dropped lots of times too. But I know that in this day and age, it's difficult, but it doesn't take 10 guys. It doesn't take 50 guys. You might get dropped if that's what you're putting out there, if that's your standard, but it only takes one. So I know there are a whole bunch more questions about this, but I hope that's been helpful. And if you're a guy, I'd love to know what you think about this. Hey, and if you're a guy and you're looking for a woman with that standard, comment below this video, because I know a ton of them. Let me match you up. And I hope you have a great week.